Will Mitch McConnell survive? I don't know. It depends on what the deep state has to say. And it depends on how much the deep state is into selling Bitcoin, because holy crap, we're crashing. All that and more on Blockchain Basement.
Bum, 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 bum. You ready for this?
I'm ready. Welcome.
If you're going to screw me, at least pull my hair.
Hell yeah. What you got?
They could start chopping off fingers. They're like, give me your seed phrase, but I don't know it.
Out to give the numbers out. And I was like, no, hang up the phone right now.
Or like when it dropped in 2020, was it like exciting?
400,000 to 600,000. The generational signals are now.
Level. So I don't even know if we're going to get back below there. But if we do, that's kind of where we...
And you can tell she's lying by her elbows. Anyways, so welcome to Blockchain Basement. We've got it here. We've got it popping. It's popping today. Things are happening in crypto that we never thought were physically possible. But what is physically possible for you to hit that like button, smash the subscribe button. What's up, chat? Chili Rainbow, Big Hands Dan, Joe, Chaos Incorporated, Flip a Frank, Robert Cosine, Mr. Techno Goody.
Yep.
What a G. Yeah. Gary's Guzzler. Every day I'm guzzling. King D.
Gary's Guzzler loves you.
You know what?
I think he loves you.
All right, I got to move on. Mojo, James M. Good to see a constructive show today with Alpha, then the dumpster fire this morning. Don't know what that means. Don't know what that means, but we're going to move. Steak is gone. Steak is gone. Steak is actually on pause, okay? Sometimes you don't want to overcook the steak, okay? Got to let it rest.
That's true.
Always let your steak rest before you cut into it.
That's true.
Scotty Swing, Kevin Persons, howdy. DZ's hairline, formerly known as his Chrysler 300. Chili Rainbow, what's up with the Fantasy League? Fantasy Blitz, we need a couple more people to join the Fantasy League so we can be fantastic together. Today's episode is brought to you by Liquid Death. Severed lime is probably one of the best flavors that they have. But speaking of flavors, we've got all of the good flavors, and they're here in the studio. We've got Steven. We've got Drew.
Yes.
We've got some guy in the corner. We've got young Owen, prepubescent zygote Owen. Yep. And then we've got this fantastic human being with fantastic hair.
He's got some interesting takes, man.
What's your name, fantastic human being?
I'm Joshua Jake. Thank you guys for having me today. Jumping right into some crazy conversations with that lead-in you had today.
Yeah.
But dude, I'm excited to be here. I'm always down to, talk about Mitch O'Connell, definitely almost passing out and drooling on stage. It's, definitely something that's an occasion. So I'm excited for this conversation. It's something I wasn't ready for, but I'm ready for it now. So
well, yeah. I mean, look, when you're in the dictatorship, I rule with an iron fist, but it is fair. Although I'm not fair to Dave Digital. Granted, Dave has been kind of a top G over the past couple of days, so Dave and I have a truce. I do want to say that I have a truce now.
With
Drew,
who?
I think you may be shocked.
Okay.
Oh my God.
I've called a truce, at least a tete-a-tete with the Hexicans and the XRP army.
Oh.
Okay? Like, I'm calming down.
That's big words.
Because I can say one thing. There is another altcoin project out there that has given me so much flack the past couple of days, and the Hexicans and XRP army, I ridicule them relentlessly, and it's all in good fun, and they ridicule me. But you know what? They've actually been pretty solid to me over the past couple of days, so I just want to go ahead and say,
have they really?
I'm pausing.
Okay.
I'm
You're having a
pausing
fiesta.
aggression.
You're having a fiesta, a Hexican fiesta.
It's like the Christmas truce, as it were.
I like it.
If you don't know what the Christmas truce is, I'll go into explain.
So what's your viewpoint then? You kind of invade into these cults and you give them maybe personal thoughts that they don't agree with.
Yeah.
Where's the? I need to know about this dictator that exists and what
invading cults.
Yeah.
Is this like Texas? Waco, Texas? What are you doing here?
Oh, man.
Yeah. So basically, when I detect a lot of smooth brains that are not wrinkled, that cannot gather information because they have information just hits their smooth brain and slides right off. I go in there and I just basically stir the autistic pot and see what comes out.
Nice.
So that's what happens. Someone says, guys, check in with Manawak. Please exit the Discord. Manawak is a top G, and we are here for Manawak. Manawak has been on the show. He's been on the basement. He's part of the dictatorship. We are here for Manawak. Come on by anytime, bro. Let's talk. The basement is so much cooler. Yes, it is cooler down here because we're underground.
Yeah, the AC's blowing.
AC's blowing.
It's not blowing right now, but
not blowing right now.
You hear a jet engine in the back.
Okay, do we want to get into, do we want to like rip the Band-Aid and do some Mitch McConnell stuff, or do we want to go into some culture, something that's like really screwed up? Because we want to do crypto a little bit later.
Mitch McConnell is really screwed up. So
we can check out the Mitch McConnell stuff.
If you're speaking about smooth brains, that's a perfect segue into.
I mean, is there anything left at this point?
Just
kind of all rotted.
bit here.
Not too much up in there.
So, okay, look, this is going to be tough to watch. Nick, you're getting soft on the dictatorship. No, look, man, there's just a lot going on in the dictatorship right now. So we got to chill out. Here's Mitch. Mm-hmm. Cocaine Mitch.
Cocaine Mitch.
And he's just
He's got that.
This is
running for re-election in 2026.
So basically what's happening right there is he's having a seizure. This is hard to watch. He's having a seizure. That's what that is. It's a micro seizure. It happens.
It's confirmed that it's a micro seizure?
No, but so the dictator's mom used to have micro seizures, and that is the exact same behavior as micro seizures.
Because they didn't confirm what it was, right?
Well, they're not going to.
They're not going
to. If they confirmed what it was, that meant he went to the doctor, and the doctor would have to say he's no longer fit for service.
Yep.
So they're not going to do it.
Yep.
So they're not going to.
Is it? And Feinstein her son has
Feinstein's
power of attorney,
dead, bro.
I know her son has a power of attorney now.
It's like Weekend at Bernie's in the Feinstein camp these days.
It's crazy that he has the power of attorney though, and she's still in office.
I know.
How is that legal? It's probably not.
I don't wish that I'm not so angry at them. I just wish they would let these people retire, right? Like
it is
make it okay
abuse.
to retire. Let go of the power, paint that picture that you don't need to stay in that position forever. I mean, you're deteriorating. Everyone can see it. It's time for the country to move on, hire younger leadership so that we can get a mind's eye on what this next generation actually wants rather than these just old talking heads that have basically exhausted themselves through Congress and Senate. And now they sit at the top of their pillars waiting to make sure no one pays attention that they're still there, not doing anything. So very unfortunate.
The job is not over, Drew.
No. The deep state needs their puppets, and they will marionette them as best they can in our faces. Port Nocturnal says, blood clots. I got the blood clot one. Hey, sorry that you got the clot shot, the Fauci clot shot. Don't do any cardio for the next couple years for your own good.
Yeah, that's true.
Robert Reed says, XRP, RB mount up. Yeah, sure. I mean, look, you know what? Throw up an X in the chat. Okay.
Hey,
just throw an X up in the
I
chat.
love XRP. I got nothing against it.
So, Josh, what's the solution to this kind of oligarchy of the septuagenarians that are running, or octogenarians that are running this country? What's the short-term solution?
So the short-term solution, they have this. These are generally the same people that it's in the water. It's all in the water. Right? It's in the water.
Yep.
So I don't know if we need to get them some fresh source of just mountain tap water. I don't know if it's the Aquafina that they've been slurping on that's tainted these brains a little bit, a little way, one way or the other. But there's a lot of theories that go into what's taking place with XRP. Where it came from, I don't know, because respectively, if you read back on like David Schwartz and these founders, I mean, look at Jed McCaleb. This is the person that gets in before Mt. Gox. He gets in, before it collapses. He's the person that gets in before the SEC lawsuit. He's that person, he's always, I want whatever Facebook group chat that is, I need to know, because that inside trading is the best. It's better than our politicians. I'll put it at that level.
Absolutely. I liked what you were bringing up this morning too about being able to find that on-chain data to see them dumping actively, like really learning how to dig into that data. I'm going to be following you a little bit more for more insight on that, because that's something that we talk about a lot. We highlight graphs after they happen, but that's the stuff you were talking about this morning. So I see it live time, so it can help me with my trading process.
Speaking of active dumping, let's look at this video of a bug person talking about the World Economic Forum.
We're undergoing a soft coup, and the idea is
The World Health
to
Organization.
create a whole new set of laws and ignore the existing human rights laws and other laws under the pretext of pandemic preparedness and the biosecurity agenda. The WHO is developing through all its nations, but with the WHO directorate in the United States in charge, a pandemic treaty and amendments to the existing international health regulations that will remove the human rights protections currently embedded in the IHRs, will censor and only push a single narrative.
So this is talking about the pandemic accords, I believe. Josh, I want to know your take on this because I could rant. But you know what? Some people need some other perspectives on this.
Look, I'll give the you got the Nick Tater perspective. I'll give yourself my own rant myself. But first, is it just me or does she look like SpongeBob's mom?
Yeah.
You know what?
If I don't know if you can pull up an image of that. That is SpongeBob's mom right there. But in terms of the, we just don't need another. How many accords do we need? I mean, the Paris Accord. We can go on with the amount of things that have been set up and the initiatives where the ideas just completely ruined us over a longer period of time. So everything that's happening with the so-and-so pandemic is what a lot of people like to refer to it as. Something that a lot of people miss and skip over is what Anthony Fauci did over the last decade with biolabs.
Absolutely.
And so biolabs were pushed out of the states. Yeah, what do I mean? That those don't exist. But somehow they do exist and moved to, you guessed it, from the states to Wuhan, China, and Ukraine. So it just seems like a story that keeps unfolding, and I hope people wake up to realize that everything the FDA is going to tell you doesn't scream, hey, this is actually safe for you. This is the way you should process it. Just question things.
Yes.
That's all we need to do.
I like what you said about unfolding, right? Because the biolabs, they were talked about by the Pentagon as being in Ukraine, and it kind of slipped over everyone's brain when it initially broke. And looking into that research, a lot of people, even within the conspiracy realm or the deep dive research people.
Conspiracy, you mean advanced news?
Yes, advanced news. It's hard to understand or think about the fact that there's 40 some U.S. Ukrainian biolabs spread out amongst the country that the Russians are actually worried about. That's a big subject, but now it's coming out as even more verifiable. And it's just funny to see people's reaction to that news when it broke. Like, oh no, there's no way that's real, because they didn't know the whole story until it keeps getting unfolded like an onion. And that's the difficult thing with seeing these things and unimaginable things being real, eventually being proven to you. Then you have a mind frame that you can fall into where everything is a conspiracy theory. But just doing due diligence, waiting for the actual information to be breaking helps a lot.
It just sounds like this is going to be the trilogy of the Kennedys, because this is someone that is speaking up of these labs. We have a presidential candidate that is bringing up very massive. I don't know if you guys have seen into any of the allegation he brings up. I mean, he's studies and everything on these interviews, and then the media just goes, we're chill with that. So I'm honestly worried to see that again. That's going to turn into a trilogy, right? And just repeat itself. So especially that he's not even getting his Secret Service. He's being denied by the Biden administration. Which, dude, that's sus.
That's so sus. It's an obvious thing to do.
The first president, the presidential, you're being denied this late into the campaign,
right?
And he's the only,
Yeah, the DNC is scared to death of RFK. Steven, I want to get your comment real quick. I did see someone in the chat saying the only Accord we can trust in is the '92 Honda Accord. I would agree with that. The Accord is also the only car that's ever been mentioned in the Bible, because in the Bible it said that Jesus and his disciples were in one accord.
Well, the only accord I follow is the A chord on my guitar. So
okay. Steven, what are your thoughts on this? And can we show SpongeBob's mom, Owen?
Yes. Well, my thoughts on this is we see these patterns over and over. I agree. You should always. I think I said it last time I was here. Always stay skeptical every time you hear facts, or every time you hear information. Never take anything as facts, and also always see the patterns, right? Like they're always saying the same narrative, and even the things that are around these news, are always meant to distract you. I don't know. At least that's how I'm starting to see things now. I don't know. The first thing to mind is the slap, for example.
Slap? Yeah,
the Will Smith slap. But
that was
great. little things like that is every time I see news like that, I'm like, okay, what else is happening in the background that they don't want you to really talk about, Yeah.
Right.
So,
it's also convenient that the word conspiracy theory was developed by the CIA at the same time that we were coming off the Bretton Woods system, and it just turned into late stage capitalism. So,
ding, ding, ding. Now, Josh,
the government's trying to.
Josh, I want to push back on a term that you've been using, and this is a term that I've heard being used by a lot. I'm an elder millennial, so I am very much a millennial. I'm an elder millennial. And you are barely a millennial, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I would say late stage capitalism, you mean early stage communism. And I say that because there can be no true capitalism in a system where all of the capital is controlled by a central entity. If there's a central authority, the Fed, controlling the printing of the money and the interest rates, you cannot have capitalism. I would say that. Would you agree? Would you say I'm wrong?
I would.
Am I
I would,
right,
I would
Nick Fuentes
say I
fascist?
agree with the approach. I would disagree with the type of autocracy that it is, which would be, I say we would be more of a kleptocracy, which is your corporation owned. So
yes.
We've definitely, the government at this point, 2008, Obama sold us out to BlackRock. That is what bailed us out of the recession. 2020, Elizabeth Warren and Janet Yellen, they had a whole battle between too big to fail institutions. Took over a massive fund from the feds as well, got into COVID and even got more funding, and they've been helping the feds. It's like literally half the branch of BlackRock is to help with debts and mortgage rates and that stuff. Which is fun. Again, you're just, why? Why is there no conflict of interest there? And so not only are they now part of this and managing our cash reserves, they're also lobbying all the politicians that they're putting into these parties. So it's
hand in glove.
Kleptocracy is the word I would use.
And that's what
I like that word.
Yeah. For me, capitalism is pure economic Darwinism. And I think Bill Maher actually said, no, it was John Stewart said it best. He said, what we've done is we have privatized the gains and socialized the losses. And I cannot think of a better way to put, man, we need bailouts. That means the taxpayers pay for all the businesses' shitty decisions that they made on their own, and then also like ruin competition through regulatory capture. But when there are gains, we're gonna, we take it all ourselves.
Those
goes
are
the
our
top 1%. The wages stay stagnant. Blah 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 blah. I'm for pure economic Darwinism. Whereas if you gain a lot, you keep it. But if you lose, you lose. Okay, we have to have that fragility, the anti-fragility built into the system. Otherwise, we get into this this is literally the worst case and the worst possible outcome for a socialist system. At least in a socialist system like Venezuela, it breaks eventually after 30 years. They always do. This is the one where everyone slowly gets cancer over the next 100 years, financial cancer, because we've socialized the losses and privatized the gains. It's terrible. Getting a lot of good support in the chat. Appreciate all of the positive vibes. Someone just said that he's going to support the channel no matter what, whatever their name is. I appreciate you. So we just had a nice little kumbaya moment talking about capitalism. I have to go and I have to do my cultural jab before we move on to the chart, before we move on to some altcoin news. It's going to get a little gross here, folks. Okay? Here we go.
Where are we going?
The family-friendly Ottawa Pride Festival features a dildo ring toss game where kids can be seen watching closely as attendees throw rings on the dildos.
What?
This is a real thing.
I think I saw this in David Buster's, actually.
This is called grooming, okay?
That's
and
grooming.
This is why I am part of Gays Against Groomers, because you don't got to be a gay to be part of Gays Against Groomers, although my following on Grindr for all my feet pics is voracious.
It's huge.
They do support me and my support of my wife, my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's husband. But this kind of stuff is screwed up and it's evil. And this is happening in the United States, all across America. If you follow me on Twitter, you know that I'm big on Bitcoin and I am very much opposed to this type of behavior. It's screwed up and it's evil. Anyone can comment on this or I will move on.
Yeah, basically it's just like, there's no problem with someone preferring someone of the same sex. It's just when you're pushing this type of narrative into kids' faces and you're not letting...
just slap the kid-friendly label on it.
There's that, and then my biggest problem with this is those are not average. Come on, what are they doing to us?
That's a fair comment.
They're like they're playing ring toss.
They're ruining it for the rest of us.
Those are some donkeys right there, brother. Those are some hogs. Like, at least be real, If
in the words of Theo Vaughn.
If you're good at groom people, at least be,
In the words of Theo Vaughn, that's a hawk.
That is terrible. That is terrible.
It's bad.
Leave the kids alone, damn it.
Hey, look at this apparently Iowa conservative. Drew, tell me if this is an Iowa conservative.
Okay.
Scary. I'm scared doing this right now. It's scary because it's like if you go against Trump, you're over.
Kyle Clare is a young Iowa conservative afraid to voice his true opinion on Trump in front of other Republicans.
They don't.
Are you kidding?
That's a psyop.
That's a psyop right
here. This is what we call a plant. Yeah. I don't think this kid has ever read anything conservative in his life.
I'm so scared.
Okay?
I just couldn't.
He hasn't even had his first ingrown hair.
Yeah. Like, look, I don't know if this guy knows how to conserve water, let alone conserve culture or politics. If this is what they're calling an Iowa conservative, then my God, then the conservatives get everything that they deserve.
We are so doomed.
Okay?
We are so doomed.
So, look, I'm a conservative. Like, I would say I'm a pretty militant conservative, so much so that I don't like Donald Trump because I think he's a piece of crap. So I have no problem saying that.
I think it's a huge problem.
I have no problem saying that ever.
I think it's a huge problem that if you can't even like voice your own opinions like that, then like how do you even?
I'm saying that's a psyop. Like they put this kid in there.
Not freedom of speech. That's
they put this kid who's like obviously a gender studies major into this interview and called him an Iowa conservative because like I don't know. Maybe he likes owning a gun or something like that. But I've been to a Trump rally and I have lots of conservative friends, lots of liberal friends, and you can talk about Trump. Conservatives don't care. They'll be like, well, you're just stupid. Anyways, moving on. I think it's a plan. Let's talk about grayscale.
One group, burns cities to the ground, and others just, we'll have a conversation with you about.
You're talking about the Democrats rigging the primary so Bernie voters can't be represented.
It's coming to a town near you once again. So
peaceful protest coming to your small business owner near you. Yep. Look, grayscale.
Want to restart it.
No, it's fine.
A spot Bitcoin ETF. What do you do now?
Yeah, so thank you so much for having me. Let's be clear about yesterday. So
first of all, there's a certain lack of testosterone. But we'll continue.
Yesterday was the culmination of more than a year worth of litigation. The SEC denied GBTC's conversion to an ETF. We immediately filed a lawsuit. 14 months later now, we finally got a decision from the DC Circuit, and a panel of 3 judges unanimously voted and agreed with Grayscale, and that actually vacates the SEC denial order. Huge win for Grayscale, huge win for our investors, and really the crypto and investment community as a whole.
But there's a process here to the point that you're making, and there is a chance that the SEC looks to broaden this out, potentially fight the decision, bringing this in front of a larger array of judges. And so if you're thinking about that potential process ahead, do you have any concerns that the race to bring an ETF to the market will leave you behind?
Well, so today is day 1 of a 45-day period during which the SEC has the ability to request a rehearing.
Okay. Do you think this is definitive? Anyone? Do you think that this is going to be have the floodgates opened? I think we've addressed this on the morning show a little bit. What thoughts, comments?
Definitely.
I mean, I don't know. I think that the first in line is still BlackRock. Those, I think BlackRock and ARK are the only ones that can get approved before 2024, just in general, from what we were looking at. The nod towards Grayscale, I mean, I think just opens up a broader kind of positivity in traditional markets that it's coming and it's going to be available. So I think that we'll see some money markets build up bags off of the traditional Wall Street getting ready for this. And we're going to see big inflows and probably, I worry about traditional finance getting so intrinsically involved with crypto because then you get the arbitrage of traditional finance as well. So that's going to be interesting to see. But I think that the little nod towards Grayscale was just that. It was a little nod. It's moving in the right direction, but these things take time, and it's probably going to be strung out because it's a big deal what's going on right now.
Strung out.
That's
like
right.
Mitch McConnell?
Yes, like Mitch McConnell. I mean, I was thinking of someone else, but
sorry.
Yeah.
Josh, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a huge moment, at least in terms of the lawsuit victory. So I think we've all been expecting spot ETFs. The first one was filed over a decade ago. I think a decade out as of like yesterday or today by the Winklevoss brothers, twins. And so this has been something they've been pursuing for a very long time. I started to believe an ETF was finally going to come around once I saw in 2021 the investments that BlackRock were making on the back end, because the one thing I can trust asset managers and our financial institutions is they don't care about you. They don't care about anybody on this page, anybody watching. You're just a number. You're another 1 and 0 to them. All they care about is increasing their profit margins. And since 1975, the only other big financial tool that was built to that manner and scale that it was like the next breakthrough of index funds like Jack Bogle launched was probably the gold-based ETF in 2004. And you guys know, we've seen after 2 decades now, trillions of dollars in value that these institutions have profit of, and they were manipulating the markets between 1990 and the early 2000s, hardcore, and probably even all the way back to the 1970s. But ultimately, I believe we're just seeing the same thing on a massive scale, and it is proven. And this is what makes me mad about a lot of the people in the crypto sector that just kind of guide over this and just flow over and they go, oh, Larry Fink's now bullish on crypto. This is great for the industry. He sat there and looked every single one of us in the face for the last 5 to 10 years as he developed ESG and pushed all these terrible initiatives, get massive carbon write-offs and taxes and subsidiaries, and told you Bitcoin was just a money laundering tool, that it was a scam, that it was greater fool theory. And I just truly believe in 2 decades from now, we will be seeing them once again. They're launching the next greatest, in my opinion, this is going to be the next greatest financial product to ever exist, just because of all the things that Bitcoin can do in terms of increasing hydrocarbon production, mitigating fossil fuels, to now being a spot ETF at your largest institution. So I look at it as it's coming. I think what could take place though is that Grayscale is just a small fish on a massive scale, and so. I could see the SEC taking tax-paying money and just saying no and just going back to court and trying to appeal and trying to appeal and trying to appeal. So I'm still looking at probably mid-2024 before we actually get an ETF, which also coincidentally, coincides with a Bitcoin halving. And if you were an asset manager and you're smart, you would want to launch that when the best marketing is available.
You're not launching it right now when it's all crab market and you're getting wrecked from one week to the other, waiting for the good upswing.
Speaking of getting wrecked, inflation data just came out. And no one cared. Remember when we were hanging on the words of the inflation data? It was like, oh my God, you print.
It's like a great reset. Everybody
Tom
was like,
Crown's out here doing shorts and longs, getting wrecked somehow on both sides. Shout out to Tom Crown. Inflation data just came out. It was released. PC data, which is critical importance of the USA, has finally been announced in addition to unemployment claims. Core PCI, or core PC, US core PCE, up 4.2%, previous 4.1%. So core PCE month over month is 0.2%. Jobless claims kind of on target. So these are all kind of on target things. Here's my biggest problem, and I say this every time when it comes to CPI. First of all, the market's already baked in all these CPI prints. Like no one's doing any reaction anymore to the stuff. So you can't really trade it anymore. But this is what pisses me off though, with all the freaking CPI stuff. Look at this. Energy is juicing the numbers again. So yeah, energy is down 12.5%. Oh wow, energy commodities are fuel oil. What are we not using in the United States during the summer? I don't know, fuel oil to heat our homes. So yeah, the price is going to drop. Gasoline has gone down. Okay, great. Fantastic. How do I get back? But guess what's up again? Food. Guess what's up again? All types of food. The food you buy in your grocery store, the food you buy when you're out with your girlfriend and your girlfriend's husband.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All of it's up. Is anyone here really feeling the effects of quote unquote reduced inflation? Anyone?
No, not at all.
Please stand up. Anyone in the chat feeling just these wonderful reduced inflationary numbers?
Yeah, I mean, and they're also... Yeah, I know. But initially, they brought the energy costs down by using our oil reserves, right? Oil reserves that are meant for our military in a time of emergency. Guess where in the hell we are right now? We are being slow walked by a geriatric into World War III, and we have no oil reserves left. So that's a major problem.
Welcome to the rice fields.
It takes oil to win wars.
Yeah.
Okay. And so there's a reason why America fought so outwardly and expansively to control those different types of production processes. Now we have OPEC planning to pull back production to increase the price, right? We have cut our own knees down at the Keystone Pipeline the first day that Sleepy Joe got into office. No one cared. No one really thought about it. He uses our reserves to fix a temporary problem, and now we see the prices coming back up because OPEC is looking like they're siding with BRICS, and they're going to see if they can squeeze us a little bit. Now, I don't think it's going to last. I think that the military might of the Navy and Space Force is going to come into play. It's going to get ugly. That's why I prep. But this is the situation that we're in right now. And yeah, I mean, there's so much to unpack there. Like, to talk about BlackRock, right? And Blackwater, right? Who the private contractors that kept that 25-year war going in the Middle East, where we just shifted from narrative to narrative on who's the next bad guy to go after. And everyone was distracted while this system was put into place, and it's going to be painful.
Shout out to Scotty Swing. At least my girlfriend's boyfriend can afford to take us out for dinner, or I'd be hungry AF. You know what? That's what us guys who take care of our people's people, that's what we do. Folks like me, folks like probably Josh. What else? You know what you said, Blackwater? I was just reminded of this show. Probably the only one that remembers it. The Pirates of Darkwater.
Really?
Did everyone ever watch that show?
No, I didn't see that show.
I wasn't alive when there were pirates around, so.
No, dead.
Okay.
You mean Jack Sparrow? Yeah.
No, Pirates. It was a cartoon in the late 90s. Anyways, do a +1 if you've ever seen Pirates of Dark Water. Here's if we go back to the CPI data, look at this. Shelter is up 7.7% year over year, which means it's up 7% over last year, which last year it was up, I think, 12%. So it is continuing to go up in a staggering way. Everyone is being impoverished by this. No one's getting ahead unless you're super rich. It's just incredibly frustrating. It's the total dislocation of real world economics to what the policymakers are doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that is a recipe for destruction. Not if you bought Bitcoin, though. If you bought Bitcoin, if you got some hard ass money, bruh, you're in a good spot.
The real money.
Yeah, you're a real one, bro.
Everyone keeps waiting for the market to crash on housing. I think you're at best going to get 15 to 20% reductions in the city centers. That if you're surrounded by trash and heroin addicts every day, and you see old ladies getting mugged, you should probably assume that you're going to have a market value decrease.
Yeah. P.S. The real estate in Chicago is not going to do that great, because it's a war zone. So here in Georgia, it's actually doing really, really well, and it will not cool off. I'm sorry. If you're wanting to move into Georgia, hoping that in 9 months things are going to cool off, it ain't happening, bruh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there always like a housing bubble, like every couple of years? Like, is that a cycle?
As manufactured this time, though, it's going to be a commercial real estate bubble.
Yeah.
So there are giant,
which has been taking massive hits.
Yes. There are skyscrapers all over the country, but mostly in San Francisco, that are completely empty.
Yeah, buy your Chick-fil-A.
We talked about you guys talked about bailouts earlier in the show. We talked about bail-ins earlier this week, and we went a little bit deeper because in the housing recession, or the last recession that we experienced in 2007, they introduced bail-ins rather than just using bailouts of taxpayer money. They cooked into the books that they can bail into your account, take money out of your account to fix their problem, and then keep moving on from there.
DGAF Dan says property taxes in certain areas have been rising, which has been raising people's mortgages. That is confirmed. My property taxes doubled this year. I've heard in places like Austin, they've gone up 8x.
Yeah.
Have you seen Nashville?
Okay, it's a sea of white girls at bachelorette parties, and then once you part the way and of the drunk mojito-filled white chicks, you can see that the interest rates and the tax rates are absolutely exorbitant. I'm sorry, Nashville. I know you're cool. Daily Wire's there, but cut down on the freaking bachelor parties.
Yeah,
I'm in it for the pink boots.
Okay.
The pink boots.
Yeah.
That'll get you. That's your fetish.
Yeah. Okay. Pink boot guy.
Okay. You know what else was pink? Was
where's this going?
Beautiful objects that we were looking at playing ring toss on. So
It's weird how that's like the first thing you recalled and it's seared into your memory.
I can't get it out of my head. They were so big.
Well, we should definitely move on.
That's another government distraction.
We should definitely,
psyops, guys.
Just the glowing.
What are they doing to me in this basement?
The glowing dongs just really pulled Josh in. All right, let's move on to Uniswap. Wow. Uniswap lawsuit dismissed. DeFi crypto exchange is not liable for scam tokens. This is super duper bullish for DeFi. Although, is Uniswap really even DeFi? No, but the sentiment is good. Class action lawsuit brought against Uniswap was tossed out by a district judge on Tuesday, who found those associated with the decentralized exchange were not liable for so-called scam tokens that purportedly burned traders. Bunny token, MXS, Alpha Wolf Finance. I mean, look, guys, if you're buying this, you deserve to get wrecked. In a perfect or at least more transparent world, plaintiffs would be able to seek redress from the actual issuers who defrauded them. She wrote, in absence of such information, plaintiffs are left to argue that Uniswap facilitated the trades at issue. I mean, if you're YOLOing your rent into...
What was it called again?
Milk cookie coin?
Milk cookie
Rocket bunny coin? Then you get what you deserve. Okay? You're the liquidity.
Yeah.
Great. DeFi's appeal is partly rooted in its permissionless nature. Sorry, Josh, you have a comment? I see your... No?
No, I was just laughing.
Okay. That includes the ability for anyone to create... Yeah, we know how it works. Okay? We're in the basement. We're degenerates. We know how DeFi works. Don't explain how DeFi works. The court declines to stretch the federal securities laws to cover the conduct alleged and concludes that the plaintiff's concerns are better addressed to Congress. Oh, goody. I don't know if that's good or bad. They did talk about how the court basically had a backhanded comment saying that they were commodities? Question mark. We'll see. This is just the continued dominoes of other agencies other than the SEC recognizing digital assets as commodities. Just like coins, just like Pokemon cards, just like Taylor Swift tickets.
Commodities aren't good though.
Commodities are great. And that's
for DeFi, commodities are terrible.
Oh, why is that? Explain to the people why that is.
They're coming out saying Ethereum's a commodity, relating it to Bitcoin when both of them functionally do not even work the same function. But one's pretty much your software as a service deployment, and then the other one's a store of value. But what people don't realize in terms of if it's registered, if we start looking at these as commodities, and these are all similar to every other copy and paste proof of stake, proof of authority, every type of network out there, and they're relating Bitcoin and Ethereum within that same category. What we could start seeing is this is the first step. The regulation is going to mean compliance. If it's going to be a commodity, there's going to be more compliance regulations for market manipulation that will be put in place. So whether that's KYC, whether that's AML, what I'm worried about is, yes, it's a win that it's not a security, but the CFTC at the same time isn't maybe the people that we still want regulating something that should probably be viewed as property or a digital currency.
Yes.
Because as soon as we give them that leeway, now all of a sudden to access all of your DeFi protocols, there might be compliance measures forced into the system that inevitably ruin DeFi.
Remember, Nick, when we wanted the CFTC to be our friend so bad? When we were just going against Gary Gensler?
No, because I always knew the CFTC was a Trojan horse.
We found that information about Rostin Benham. He's got a very heavy ESG background. Debbie Stabenow is the gal that brought him up in his political career. He's now overseeing the CFTC. He's very focused on controlling environmental outputs and impacts, right? Yeah. Like, we're the problem.
I.e. turning the screws on your personal property and personal well-being. Crypto Next says black card still suspended. Little Nicky, I don't have a black card quite yet. I have a American Express Platinum card. Judging by his purchase today, I would imagine Dante has a black card.
Dante,
what was your purchase? What did you purchase today?
How much money do you have?
How much money do you have, Dante? Dante knows the dollar bills, y'all. Yeah. Do you got a black card? Hell yeah! Called it. Called it. He's got that black card.
The clink that has is so sexy.
To be fair, the platinum is also made out of metal, so it also has the plink. What? Are we gonna have to slap cards later?
I think we're slapping.
I don't have my wallet on me.
Please don't get weird like that.
Oh my God! You heard that? See, now I've got so much Cardano. I've got so much render token. I've got so much engine. I've got so much other stuff. It's basically a foregone conclusion at this time next year in the bull run, I'm going to have a black card. But that's if I don't lose all of my crypto in a boating accident.
That's true.
Let's move on. True. Ryan Selkis.
Dangerous times.
Hang on. Dante, is the black card overrated or is it good to just use to get chicks at a bar? That's what I've heard.
Concierge service is useless.
Yeah.
I outsource the concierge to a lifestyle company and
That's the most Dante thing I've ever heard. Okay.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, that would be the answer.
This is peak Dante. Ryan Selkis, he is the CEO of Masari. Fantastic service. Highly recommend. 10 out of 10. Masari, Ryan Selkis. Good overall dude. Still a little bearish on Cardano. Get over it, bro. KYC is the most immoral, unsafe, and unconstitutional social norm we've been forced to swallow in modern society. It doesn't make it safe. It simply gives the U.S. government, responsible for millions of deaths in recent decades, more unchecked surveillance capabilities. Sensitive data is regularly breached at scale. That makes billions of people less safe digitally and physically. This downside is never considered because powerful people don't care, just as long as they have a watchful eye on all the financial flows. Crypto is going to ultimately force this egregious abuse of power to get revisited in the courts as it roots around intermediaries and undermines the third-party doctrine. Baby. At some point, we have to start advocating for privacy over specious, quote-unquote, national security, fear-mongering. The biggest threats are from the D.C. police state, not foreign boogeymen. One of the best quotes I've ever heard about it is, if you will freely give up your liberty for security, you deserve neither. From Benjamin Button. No, Benjamin Franklin.
I might have been Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, doesn't matter. OGs, nonetheless. And Benjamin Franklin, that guy fucks.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
That guy's got $100 riz.
You think he uses the kite?
Are you familiar with Ben Franklin's journal?
That's why it sounds like a
I should check it out.
He uses the kite.
You don't.
Let's pull that back up.
The kite maneuver. Yeah.
Because I don't know about yet. This entire thing pisses me off.
Go.
Like even my heart was just like pounding just listening to this because he is so right in terms of the KYC being immoral, unsafe. I'm sorry, Ryan. It's like the idea almost made it, but the problem with this post, if you scroll down, this has 139,000. Are you allowed to cuss on this one or no?
I've sworn.
Okay, so 139,000 fucking views on this, and that is the biggest problem I have with this entire thread because everybody's going to continuously say this is what's taking place. These are the biggest threats to the DC police state, not foreign boogeymen. National security, fear mongering. He's using all these massive clickbait words, these buzzwords, which I agree with. And I know everybody on here agrees with. If you took all 139,000 of those people and we actually went to our local representatives and actually brought this to their attention instead of just letting these lobbyists, door-to-door sales freaks coming from these corporations feed into this endless system, we would actually be able to make change here. But this is exactly why I say the phrase DeFi is dead all the time. It's not that DeFi products are going to go away. They're going to be regulated to shit because we will say all this and nothing fucking changes.
And we won't pick up the phone to call our senator. You're absolutely right. That's part of the reason why I push back a lot on people saying, my vote doesn't matter. My vote doesn't matter. Well, okay. I can understand why you feel that way for the federal national elections. I disagree with you, but I can understand your sentiment. But bro, my sister in Christ, your vote at the state level and especially at the county level, holy crap, that matters.
Yes.
Because those people, your local senator, your state senators, okay, your state representatives, those people influence your life way, way more than the federal people. Yeah. So you have got to be engaged. And yes, 100%, Josh, people need to, and you're sounding like you're vying for a place in the dictatorship. Because I have told people, ever since I've assumed power in the dictatorship, that if you do not engage with your politicians, you're doing it wrong. Okay, calling your senator, because here's the order of operations. Okay, first of all, you have the senator. Okay, they're there because they were bought. Okay, and then you have their constituents, and then you have their donors. If you don't have access to the donors, you have to have access to basically constituents, i.e. poll numbers. How do they understand what's important to the constituents? It's because they have a whole bunch of people in their staff that read the polls and get phone calls and emails. If the phone calls and emails are overrun with a certain issue, that gets back to the paid for politician, and then they suddenly care about it. Yeah. And the more paid for politicians that care about a thing, it gets put on, if there's a majority, it gets put onto the, not the mandate, but basically the talking points for the party. So you got to work it that way. If you can get donor money, which I'm trying to get in the next bull run, that's the first thing I'm going to start buying once I get a lot of money, buying politicians. But if you're not at that level, you call them, and all it takes is just a couple phone calls, and you would be amazed at how much of a difference you can make. Just with a couple hundred people making a phone call. We'll move on. Any other comments? Steven, I know you're super politically active. What's your take?
No, I agree with everyone's takes. Like, you gotta definitely be involved with your local government. They're definitely going to be the ones to control the rules around you, and definitely voice your concerns to them. But I mean, there's not really.
Did we just form a safety committee?
Drew, what did I say about saying that on my stream?
Look it up.
You're not allowed.
Did we just form
Don't look that up. Don't look that up. We'll get demonetized.
No, we formed an accord.
Yeah, we formed an accord. Yeah, we were all in one accord.
Another thing, I think a lot of people just aren't that informed about it. That's true. Like, a lot of people don't even know that you can just call your senator and you can just call your local government. Yep. There are events out there. You just gotta put the effort and find it.
I think that was the key word. Is I think they do know. It's effort.
Effort.
And you know, it's so easy to tweet out X out. You know, and just put your thoughts on, display it on TikTok or YouTube or et cetera. And I see this with influencer time again. I'm involved politically in Florida. I've been getting into the local state level. I actually was supposed to have a dinner with DeSantis on Tuesday, but the hurricane hit, so that's postponed.
Brag.
That would be well. So the point is, I am going to, because the point is I like, even though I have an audience and we have a reach, my point to that is it's possible. You just have to put effort into doing so. And if you don't, it is so ironic because that you seriously have corporate sales junkies that dress up like in their little Purdue costumes and go sell some oxycodone to the entire world and kill people.
FDA approved.
FDA approved, and nobody was going to their local representatives and doing it well. And it just not on the scale that had it like an actual say or an actual matter.
But we can get there though.
Look what it's done to society. Like we have highbrow options for hard drugs that have basically laid waste to cities across the country. And that's just okay. It's just a new normal that we get okay and used to. The absolute desolation of people. Now you see people on Trank that are turning into zombies. That you know
what, Drew?
Yeah, that's crazy.
This is the reversed Opium Wars.
I know. That's yes.
Let's do a video on it.
Fentanyl
in case you didn't know what the Opium Wars are, essentially when China was a British colony, China tried to get independence, but when the British were like, no likey, we like the spice. So what did they do? They flooded China with cheap opium. And they destroyed the Chinese economy because all these Chinese folks got addicted to opium. That is what the Opium Wars are. And what is China doing now? They've taken a play from the Brits and they have set up thousands of fentanyl facilities. They are shipping fentanyl. They are the source for fentanyl in this country.
It's so dangerous.
They are the source for fentanyl in this country, and they are flooding our country with fentanyl to destroy it. It is the same playbook that the British used against them. Mr. Technogoody said, one of my kids was formed in an accord. Congratulations. Dope sick, highly recommend. Look, if something says FDA approved, that just means that it was paid for by Big Pharma. That does not mean it's safe. .com.
Boom.
Okay? Remember, everything I say is financial advice. Is it good or bad? That's up for you to find out. Let's move on. John Deaton says 35% chance the SEC lawsuit against Coinbase will be dismissed. I like John Deaton, friend of the show. I am suspicious of round numbers. How did he arrive at this number?
That's a hot take.
Renowned crypto lawyer John Deaton has dropped his estimation of the outcome of the regulatory lawsuit against Coinbase. In a recent tweet, Deaton argued there's a 35% chance that the judge overseeing the lawsuit between the SEC and Coinbase will dismiss the regulator's suit.
Full dismissal, huh?
Yeah. Today on Scott Milker, again, friend of the show, shout out to Scott, one of the best DJs in all of the country. I said there was a 20-25% chance that she dismisses the complaint. I don't know where he's getting this data from. Like, I know. A 25% chance, like what's the metric?
The chance of meatballs, you know, I feel like a lot of those numbers are just arbitrary.
What do you mean?
You know,
you mean he's just trying to get clicks?
Like, you know, I would do it the other way. I'd be like, there's a 90% chance. Well, I'd be like, guys, I did tell you there was a 10% chance this wasn't going to happen. So, you know.
Yeah, I would say I mean, he's trying to be bullish, but there's a 65% chance that it's not going to be dismissed.
I would wager on confusion. They're going to lean on confusion to the next few years, just to make sure that those in retail that might be savage enough to be in the crypto markets right now are too scared to really fully dive in, because what if they destroy it all? It's a cat that's ran out into the prairie and there's no getting it.
It's a scam. Look, don't keep your money on Coinbase. Don't even buy crypto using Coinbase. It's expensive AF. I buy my crypto with Kraken because it's one of the best on and off ramps, but it don't sit on Kraken. I'll tell you that much.
I feel like if you don't know what like not your keys, not your crypto at this
by
point,
now, look, you know, just I'm not even gonna go into say it. How many likes do we got right now, Young Owen?
We're doing pretty good.
Young Owen,
he died.
How many likes do we got? I can't see. 120. This is trash. Hit that like button to prove you are not a Fed.
Yeah,
get in there. I bet you Josh's TikTok has like 5,000 likes. Yeah, and we've only got 150.
Dude,
that's trash.
It was when I saw Josh.
I like the stream. We were live.
I never recognized it, man.
These are low T numbers. Yeah. Okay, we are raw egg nationalists here. We are anti seed oil. We are pro Bitcoin. You better smash that like button. You better subscribe. Damon Carney, miss you guys. Hope you're doing well. Damon, appreciate the love.
Boom.
Look at Binance. Binance recommends users switch BUSD assets to other stable coins. I don't know why they're doing this.
I can tell you why. This is the US takeover, dude. This is my contrarian perspective on this entire industry, that Bitcoin and decentralization is a giant psyop that, look, it's good for the world. It's going to change everything. I'm bullish on crypto entirely, but look at what's taking place. BUSD was launched and issued by Paxos, a white labeling service for stablecoins, a year ago. This was back in February. Confirms it in the chat here. Binance, this is how stable coins works. I don't know if you guys know that. When you deposit $1, the stablecoin issuer gives you one stablecoin. They take your dollar and they put it into U.S. Treasuries and earn a 5.5% yield on it. It is the ultimate yield farming mechanism, the easiest business model to profit billions off of if you control the liquidity. So what we saw was a year ago, they got a Wells notice to Paxos. They're like, okay, you know what? We're going to stop issuing it. We're going to push you out BUSDs and unregistered security. Binance US gets pushed out of the United States, kills them out here. Coinbase takes over and starts absorbing more and more liquidity. A year later, fast forward, Paxos, the same company that issued BUSD, launches PayPal's PyUSD. Same white label service, same company, publicly traded. Okay. And the goal here, and this is something that I know is, I don't know if anybody's ever thought about this, but if you realize the entire crypto market isn't anti-establishment. It is for establishment. It is for banks. Why? The majority of the liquidity in the market is all backed by U.S.
Even
reserves.
Pepe?
Even Pepe. All your liquidity in this market is, we're talking stable coins, which is where all the, like, you're talking 20 billion, you can look it up today, how much liquidity or volume's moving. It is primarily in stable coins, and that's starting to move more and more and more. And so all of these are backed by U.S. Treasuries. So if you want to succeed, I look at it as this is a way for the U.S. to step in, and this is why BlackRock, spot ETFs, all this market manipulation is all taking place. If they get that product, that spot ETF product, they are going to profit trillions off of this, because now isn't it only a global reserve assets that countries like El Salvador, anywhere that has geothermal energy, solar, whatever, can take away and don't have to go with a BRICS or an IMF.
Right.
It's access to global liquidity, and it brings even more value and support back to the U.S. dollar. And that is a very weird perspective, but
I like it.
That's
I
okay.
like it.
Crypto with Kai says, I want a seat at the round table in the dictatorship. It's a dictatorship, but for that like button to be pressed, I'll even help Nick set up a mining farm in Idaho. Idaho, just in case you didn't know, the cheapest place in the United States to mine Bitcoin.
Really?
It is. It is the cheapest place.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay.
We will set up a satellite hit network mining facility in Idaho. I would love to actually retire to Idaho at some point. Guys, I'm remiss. I'm so jacked up with everything that's happening these days. I didn't even check our hash rate, friends, over at hashrate.no, because we are pro mining at this channel. Look at all of these gainers today. We got blocks, price gainers. Gain Pro X, never heard of this one. Callisto up 12.5%, 12.63%. Pepe Pow,
what? Proof
up
of work,
a whopping
Pepe?
3%. Proof of work Pepe. Aletheum, very good project, up 2%, but it has pumped crazy this year. Earnings gainers, GainX Pro. I'll look into this one. I don't know what it is. Narai called this out. This is going to be another big project. Nyaxa, one near and dear to my heart. Great earnings bump. So that means the hash rate has gone down and or the emission rate has gone up, or a combination of the two, and you can mine more for the same amount of electricity. Ergo is going to crush and melt faces. It is the Cardano adjacent proof of work blockchain. It has a mixer. That's all I'm going to say.
It has a mixer. Say no more.
Varus coin can be mined on a cell phone, on a CPU, and a GPU. So there's all sorts of great stuff happening with proof of work these days. A lot of the proof of work coins, even outside of Casper, have had just stratospheric gains. Let's look at Alpha, Lithium. I was told about this project. Let's go to all. That's not all. It's supposed to be different.
Supposed to be different. This is looking grim. Well, I mean, you got the initial arbitrage.
No, the market cap. So this is the market cap.
Okay.
So we're not looking at the coin price right now. We're looking at the market cap.
Okay.
So it has skyrocketed up. What's that?
that's crazy. That just, was that launch day?
Yeah, it was launched this year. It was launched this year.
Gotcha.
So immediately jumped up to, almost a $14 million market cap. That's very bullish for a brand new project. You can't really look at the token price now during this bear market because that's not what matters. We're talking about the health of the project by its market cap. If we want to look at another perennial favorite, Meow Coin.
Oh man! I mean, we already ran the dog side of things. Maybe the cats are the next
coin. There it is, Meow Coin.
The cat memes are coming back.
Cat memes are coming back.
Look at this, pretty interesting market cap movement. So it's still stuck around. Wait, I want market cap.
What is
market
that?
cap.
That looks unwell.
Well, it's not giving market cap. Coin market cap,
Yeah.
once
I think
again,
it flatlined. Okay.
they still can't get their act together with their 1.8 million cryptos. Do you know why they did this? So they can count NFTs.
Oh, God. Really?
That's why they did that. Yeah.
That makes it look so bad. There's 1.8 million different
They're
coins
stupid.
out there.
Look
That's
at
what the basic person looks
Look
at
at
and thinks.
Flux.
Oh.
Bless you.
Look at this. So this is what we call a healthy chart because you have an all-time high, then you have another all-time high, and then consolidation. Okay? Because if it was inverted and it did make another all-time high during this last bull run, that's bad. Okay? Yeah. If its second peak was down here, that's bad. Okay? But it's done this. It's consolidating. You can still mine it. It's a great project. It's $98 million market cap. Speaking of projects that are dead, let's look at DOT.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, Gavin Wood, no longer hard, things soft out.
Yeah. So, I mean, look, there's this other thing about DOT. Polkadot price bearish outlook as DOT nears key support zone. Is DOT the new EOS?
I would not go that far.
Oh, you wouldn't?
I would not go as far. Yeah, that was crazy. What, $4 billion raised? Just to absolutely create the most artificial pump and dump scandal that has ever existed. I mean, that was so much money to be raised. That was crazy. But from Polkadot's perspective, I mean, the parachain slot auctions are decent ideas. I just think the issue here is Gavin Wood is a very technical issue, and the marketing team for the Polkadot ecosystem is
I wonder why.
It's very dull.
Yeah. Yeah, DOT is something it's just not sparking joy. It's not sexy. It's not doing a whole lot. Their hackathons are kind of lame. They're just not making moves like XRP, like Cardano, like Ethereum, like Matic. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Render, there's like obvious use cases for Render. Similarly with like Neoxa and even Casper. People talking about mining. Nick, what's your take on Nexa? I don't mind Nexa. It is a cool project. It's just going to be one of those things that it has to find its niche. I think it'll do well in the bull run. But for me, we just got a KS2 here. Nope, that's not right. Ice River KS2. We just got a KS2 here in the office. This is the Casper Miner. $11,000, 2 terahash Casper. This thing is an absolute rock star, 1200 watt. So it's going to be set up in Studio A here. If you want me to do a kind of like a setup video on this ASIC, this is one of the easiest ASICs I've ever set up outside of the gold shell miners that I have. Really, really great interface. Makes Bitmain look like a freaking IBM 486 DOS interface. So this is great. Incredible miner. I by my calculations, and someone like Red Panda Mining will call me an idiot. By my calculations, once we get this thing set up and it's able to run 24/7 for the next year, I believe it will make about $100,000.
Bullish.
So it will 10x. So yeah, KS2. If you want to see more mining info and some more mining tutorials, do a +1 in the chat. We've only got a few minutes left on this very special episode.
It kind of flew by, didn't it?
It did. It's things fly by when you're having fun. Do we care about Nexo?
I don't.
Don't use Nexo.
I don't.
It's custodial. Okay, yeah, they give you yield. Well, then just DCA. Stop being greedy. They're going to take your shit when it all goes sideways because they're going to do dumb crap with it. Whatever the next 3 hours capital is, or whenever they rebrand FTX, Nexo is going to get their yield from there, and then you're going to lose all your crypto. Don't be stupid. Don't use Nexo. You can use it for their card if it gives you crypto that you earn, but then instantly take it off. Okay,
Right.
Don't get sucked into their earn program.
Also, like, why? Like, X is going to be launching their own crypto service in like literally 3 months, and so that's not going to have. That's your competition. Like, what are you using this for?
Yeah. What are you going to do? Are you going to trust these Slavic crazies, or are you going to trust the South African billionaire? Okay. I, for one, will trust the South African billionaire. Damon Carney, BTC today is only because of MC on-chain data storage is only ICP and BSV. Any others? Nick, check TG. I don't know if you had a stroke while you were typing that, but I'm gonna try and understand what you're talking about. But I will check my Telegram. I don't know how you know that I have Telegram. Thoughts and prayers to Damon Carney as he works through whatever type of health issue he had during that super chat. But appreciate the $5 super chat. Yes, you're pointing.
I was reading the. I was just. I am blind, by the way, guys. Like, and then these glasses have given out, so I was like literally just squinting.
They gave out. Oh man,
they're getting worse. I hit 25, and then my eyes went downhill. It was
Gee
just,
whiz, yeah. I had liquid mining set up, but I switched back to air because the CPU was getting too hot. Then I don't think you were doing liquid right. I got I was CPU mining with just a regular fan, but then I got like a $50 just generic Amazon all-in-one water cooler for my CPU. Pop that bitch on there. Brought it down by 30 degrees. It was great. Hex Cult member checking in. We are not as wrecked as we looked. Look, man, I appreciate that you're just sucking down that copium, but I have called a truce with the Hexicans. Okay, I'm not here to make fun of your shitcoin anymore. Okay, we are cool for the next little bit. Albert Conti, appreciate the $5 super chat. Any other pithy comments or shout outs you want to do besides Josh and your fantastic TikTok account?
That's the thing.
Appreciate you. Where can people find you?
Where Hexicans shouldn't be TikTok. That's gonna be where I'm at. Josh. I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I was gonna be like, I'm gonna have to be the harsh one on there. Like, fix your website with the misinformation on Bitcoin and mining, and then then we'll retalk. But yeah, you can find me on. Obviously, my main source is gonna be TikTok. It's Joshua Jake on all social handles. I'm also on YouTube and Twitter. And Instagram. But primary source is going to be that TikTok alpha.
Sweet. He's got a lot of TikTok alpha. I watched 30 of his TikToks the other day just to get acquainted with his content. Very, very good content. Very good dude. That's almost it for us here at Blockchain Basement. Hit that like button on your way out. Give us a subscribe. I appreciate all of you. If you want to you can check out Fantasy Blitz on YouTube.
You're going live tonight, aren't you?
Yeah, we're going live.
All
Look,
right,
here's Fantasy Blitz.
It's kind of a big deal.
Did the season already start?
Our office draft is tonight, and we will be live drafting on Fantasy Blitz tonight. You get the best alpha for your fantasy football team. Brand new channel. It's a tiny little baby channel, but I think it has a lot of legs. We go through all of the best fantasy football news. Appreciate all of you for hanging out on Blockchain Basement. Remember, we are all just spiritual beings having a human experience. Go outside, touch some grass, call one of your friends on the phone and talk to them voice to voice. If you can't do that, get a beer with them. Make sure to interact with people, not your keys, not your cheese. Appreciate y'all. See you at the top.